So right now, we're in the middle of a full retransformation.
AI innovator and tech entrepreneur, Abrar Siddiqui. Tell me very honestly, we are talking about the AI space. Is it only a buzzword?
I think the things are changing so fast that the environment around you will very quickly change. When I was initially working payments, people were like, we're not going to put our credit card in the phone. People are scared of that. Now, same people are saying, I don't go into this restaurant because they don't take Apple Pay.
Apple Pay. In today's episode of Beyond Borders, we have with us Abrar Siddiqui. He's a globally recognized AI innovator and tech entrepreneur for over 20 years of experience in driving digital transformation across the industries. From developing AI-powered solutions for global banks and governments to scaling up fintech startups, Abrar's work blends cutting-edge innovation with practical impact. As a leader in generative AI and digital governance, he continues to redefine the way industries leverage technology and solve real-world problems to unlock new growth opportunities. Today, we learn a lot about AI, the chatbot industry. It's just not a buzzword, it's our reality now. So, welcome to the podcast, Abrar.
Thank you, Ritika. It's really good to be here.
Diving straight into your AI journey,
Yes.
because that's what everybody is talking nowadays. So, tell me about your AI journey.
Yeah, it's been practically out of my experience, like roughly 8 years back. I was at IBM Watson.
Okay.
And it's an interesting thing. I'd done my startup. I had a fintech startup.
Okay.
So I had background in there. I'd finished up there. But my friends from IBM, they reached out to me. So the reason I joined IBM again was because they're building a new team.
Okay.
And I wanted to learn and understand all of these things. So
Right.
I got in there just before all this ChatGPT and all these things, which are
Much
popular
before,
now.
I think.
So started there. We started working with some interesting problems, some of the
Right.
interesting clients, with some of the banks, government agencies, and
So more case study based things, right?
we were
where
doing, we were executing on what we call enterprise, large projects.
Right.
And under
I think probably back in the day, only bigger corporations could afford AI.
bigger companies, yes. Even right now, I would
Yeah.
say it is an expensive endeavor.
True.
Now there's more acceptance. In the
Right.
sense, it's more. So this is what happened. Like roughly 2 years back, when ChatGPT
True.
came out,
As a mass product.
and everybody used it. It has the highest
Downloads, yeah.
uptake. We
But
got into
now
it.
DeepSeek and Kimi, so China exploded the market recently.
Yeah.
So tell me very honestly, we are talking about the AI space. Is it only a buzzword, or we are going to move towards solutions which are going to be more of use case and we'll be using it in our daily lives?
I'll tell you my personal view on this
Yeah.
one very clearly, and this coming back from what I've seen
Yeah.
over the last 20 years. So right now we're in the middle of a full retransformation. So it's,
Okay.
if you were think about like, this is like 2000 when the internet came in.
Okay, yeah.
So all the infrastructure, everything is being redone because there have been number of breakthroughs coming out of research in academia.
True.
The ChatGPT as an application is based on a paper called Transformer Architecture paper that came out in 2016 in Toronto, where I'm from.
Okay.
So in 2016, it was published. But you can imagine 2016 and
It
then...
took like a while for it to...
So these guys working on it, and then only 2022 people got to know about ChatGPT.
Wow, yeah.
So a lot of people don't know how many things, and researchers and universities across the globe.
Are working
and in
on it.
China, they're coming out at like
Yeah.
a breakneck speed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things, with my involvement in the academia and research side of things that are there. Now there's always saying, like things work in a lab. Now, commercializing them
Right.
and making it available. ChatGPT is one example, but then there's a lot of things into image generation, voice,
Yes.
all of these things.
Also, generative AI is a completely different. I mean, how do you think it is affecting the production? Like with Adidas launching its campaign, which are completely made with AI, with Runway coming in and, giving us the ability to produce high quality videos. How do you think people will adapt to this?
So what AI is doing is basically it's making intelligence accessible.
Okay.
That's, there's all these capabilities which required a lot of people
Right.
or very, very expensive software. So, when you're talking about image generation and all, like we're talking about Photoshop, which is like an expensive license to have per person, like $1,000 per person.
Yeah.
Not everyone can afford it.
True.
So when you then start using the generated AI capabilities, first of all, it's make it more easy, more accessible to use.
Absolutely.
A lot of capabilities come through that process. So there are many, many examples in image generation, visuals, my personal interest like voice. Now there's voice cloning.
Oh, yeah.
We can actually get, for you, it's very easzy to get this podcast translated in like 30 plus languages. There's a platform, called 11 Labs. I use them.
Oh, yeah, 11 Labs, yeah.
So, and I also know there's companies, some companies out of, places like in China, India, here as well, so that are supporting, multiple languages. So,
Awesome.
Here we have to support multiple Arabic dialects.
Nice.
That's happening.
And let's talk about your startup journey. What's that one key lesson you learned from scaling up your fintech business, which was like $15 million monthly transaction kind of scale, right? To like starting up now again with another startup.
Yeah, I think that was the previous one. This company by the name, it's now called Known POS.
Right.
And we built a mobile payments platform using Bluetooth technology and developed it. The lesson I learned is we actually worked with very closely with our end users.
Right.
So one of the things I say to everyone is, you have an idea and a concept, but the sooner you can get some version and start interacting with your end users, it makes sense. So do you
think the customer experience is something that you learned from that startup?
I learned how to engage customers early on.
Nice.
Like as early as you can.
And
even
did that
if
help you with what you're building now? So let's come to it's been 2 months in, right? With your new startup.
Yes.
So the name, how you built it should be like super inspiring to know.
Yeah, current one is basically, so last year I spent a lot of times working on large AI projects.
Okay.
One of them with the UAE Ministry of Finance.
Right.
We built this AI data advisor.
Wow.
Which was like a whole character. Her name was Mona. She speaks English, Arabic, and things.
Multiple languages.
And then we were working with some of the banks. So for me, the thing is actually when I was doing these things, a lot of my friends who, people I know from smaller companies were coming to me. They're like, can we do something like this?
Yeah.
And then slowly, and for me, and these are like big, expensive ones. So I felt there was a need and there was an ask for things, for what I call like SMB sector,
right?
Smaller companies. And for me, it was quite honestly like a personal thing. I was like, okay, do I want to spend next 2-3 years working with large
bigger corporations,
banks and government entities? Nothing wrong with them. But it's a whole separate thing. I've been doing that for 4 years since I've been here. Or do I want to go in and solve some problem and make it affordable and accessible? So that's where I started my company.
Wow.
Right now, just in an initial phase, call it Sarah AI.
Amazing.
And the idea
what does
is
Sarah AI, what happens? What's the core of it?
Essentially, it's basically an AI agent platform. Okay. So the idea and focused on the SMB market in this region and all. So we have different use cases. The first one that we're getting out of very quickly is our executive assistant. Okay. So the idea is as a CEO or a business owner, some people have access to it who can afford it, but a proper
the
assistant,
SMEs would not. it would cost a lot.
And then
yeah.
a lot of people have virtual agents, people who are
Yes.
sitting in, places like India, Malaysia,
Yeah.
Philippines and all. But with an AI agent, it's 24/7.
Correct.
Works for you.
So is this chat based or it's like a virtual avatar based?
It's voice and
Voice and text.
WhatsApp. So for me, it's very much how you would interact with a real human person. You can call it, you
Okay.
can text it on WhatsApp.
So how does it just curious, how does it talk and respond? Like how does it understand? You have to feed the data? You have to teach it?
For me, it's like, just like you get a new employee in your company,
Right.
they have it can speak,
Yeah.
it can speak multiple languages. It
Yeah.
knows how to do certain things,
Yeah.
but it doesn't know who your, key contacts are,
Yeah.
what are your things. But once it learns so there's a whole function in there around like, it can go and do
Yeah.
very detailed research reports for you,
Yeah.
which is something, if I were to compare, a regular person might not be able to. So it's someone who does your admin work,
Correct.
but can do deep
Research and learning. Yeah.
things for you. For example, if you want to know, I'm looking to expand to Saudi, my business, what are the things I should go about? Is this even a good idea? So it can go and fetch the data, develop things for you within a few minutes.
And how is it different from ChatGPT, which can do similar things? I think, is your data protected when it's your own chatbot?
Yeah, so this is like belongs to you. Over the time, it's learning.
So your data is probably very secure, right?
Yes.
It's limited to the region or to just your enterprise company.
All the things that it does, it will just stay with you as a thing.
Amazing. So as opposed to ChatGPT, where your data can be like accessed by anyone who.
Yeah, and
Is that-
the other thing is the other thing is it's a consumer app.
Right.
It does have an enterprise version.
Yeah.
If you can,
Afford
you
it.
can afford it and have a team that can build it. That's perfectly
Yeah.
fine. But the other part, at least the way I'm doing it is I'm using actually Anthropic Claude in there,
Okay.
as well as ChatGPT.
Okay. It's a mix of two, three LLMs.
So I have an application where I see what makes sense. I can do this. I'm actually looking into using DeepSeek as well.
Yeah, it's
in the
very
sense. So
interesting. Yeah.
for me, these are all different models. They all have their different capabilities and all. They all come with their different, price points and all.
Correct.
So if you can think about it.
Because data and security is something that everybody is concerned about because we have been hit with AI very strongly. So let's talk about responsible AI. Like how can companies ensure that implementing these solutions is going to also be safe for them and their data is secured?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And actually, I came to UA. I came in as a VP engineering for a cybersecurity platform.
Right,
So data and security is something I very much understand. The way to go about is, just be very careful of, the providers you're working with.
Sure.
And putting all the right procedures, safeguards. We have, there's this, not to get too technical, but there's a whole concept of observability.
Okay.
So in our platform, I have a whole thing where there's a whole observability piece in there.
Right.
So it's looking through that and making sure it's not going in the wrong places.
Yeah. But it's nothing to be scared of, I believe. It's just that you have to take cautionary steps and do a risk assessment before investing in a tool, probably. Yeah.
And look, it's an interesting one. It's nothing to do with AI. It's just like I see so many things that are happening. It's on the other side, the fraud actors and all. They're all using AI. That's the biggest thing right now.
Yeah, they're doing deepfake videos.
They're doing all sorts of things. So it's kind of like a constant battle.
Yeah,
and
it
comes
How
around.
to ethically use it is something we'll have to develop over the time.
And that is also one of my one of the concerns that I also have, in the sense that all these technologies that are available, how they're being used, but there are platforms, there are technologies
safe,
coming
secure.
up. There's a company called Vusa. They actually go through, if you have a brand or something, your website getting spoofed. So that's how a lot of fraud happens.
Right.
Like somebody's copied your website.
Correct.
And if the phishing happens, you get an email, you click on it, you think you're going to,
The
let's say for
original
example,
website,
this H&M store, And in fact, it's a fake one. You didn't really look into it, and then you put in your username, password. They get that thing, and interestingly, you've been using the same password for all the websites. So then there's a whole AI thing which can actually hit within sub-seconds all these places and can find. So don't want to scare you.
No.
But
it's good to know.
The thing is,
and you know, like I feel it's been a very interesting conversation, and of course now, everybody is going to use AI. So I would like to wrap up with that one advice you would like to give to SMEs specifically, because they are the ones who are already confused. They don't have good mentorship. They don't have good leaders who have experience. So what is that one piece of advice you would like to give them?
I'll give the advice which I give to everyone in this thing. One, don't be scared of technology.
Right.
There's a lot of, all this Hollywood like buzzword, and none of it is true. There is no scientific evidence. I'm an engineering person, so I speak in terms of very absolute things. Scientifically, like this, a lot of those scenarios are not possible. Right. Understand the technology. It is not that complicated. It is, and there's a lot of material available.
Yeah.
A podcast, I always say, now we're also living in a stage like very different. When I went to, I had to go to university and I had to get a degree to understand things. Now you don't, there's
you
YouTube.
Just have to, put it on YouTube.
Start following some of the podcasts, so this is a good one, and there's topics here. Start following people and get into it, start understanding the technology.
True.
So now it is just, to give another analogy, and when I was initially working payments, people were like, we're not going to put our credit card in the phone. People are scared of that. I've literally, that was my life 15 years back.
Yeah.
Now, same people are saying, oh, I don't go to this restaurant because they don't take Apple Pay.
Apple Pay.
So how quickly shifted, right?
Happens, yeah.
So now the only difference, what I'm observing, is the rate of change is very fast.
True.
It is, in my view, we're like 3x, 4x.
And I think you either adapt or you lose out.
The fear is, I think the things are changing so fast that the environment around you will very quickly change. And one of the reasons, I'm actually building my company in this space is so that to make all these technologies accessible and affordable for the SME and SMB market.
True.
Because, the way I see it is, they're expensive, hard to implement.
Yeah.
And
but I think startup like yours are a great solution, for that entire segment, which is huge in numbers, honestly.
Yes.
So I think it's great for either ends, for startups like yours and for people to adapt it.
That's what we're working on.
Thank you so much, and a great initiative, and good luck for your new startup. And we'll put all the details below. We can probably, the audience can come and try your platform very soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on Beyond Borders.